Hi there, and welcome back to another Commands and Colors Ancients battle. Today we're going to look at Philippi 2, or the second battle of Philippi, fought 42 BC, same year as the first battle of Philippi. So I think this is, if I'm not wrong, it was this happened a few weeks after the first battle, where we had Marcus Antonius and Octavian of the Triumvirate battling the Republicans led by Brutus and Cassius. Now Cassius is dead. He took his own life after the first battle. So now Brutus is the only champion for the Republic here. We are pretty much in the same place as the first battle. You can see these impossible hills here, or in the center of this battlefield. I think that's the same hills that we had in the first battle, anchoring the Republican left line here. So what has happened is pretty much both sides have been eyeing each other. The Triumvirate has some big problems at this point because they have problems with supply and getting reinforcements to the troops. They had a lot of ships coming over through the Adriatic, but Republican fleets had intercepted them and made, pretty much eliminated those reinforcements and supplies. So these guys were not in a good shape. So I guess pretty much they wanted a battle here. So they had to do something because Brutus was pretty much happy sitting his behind the walls, waiting for Octavian or Antony to do anything. And at the beginning of, before the battle, the second battle, the situation was like this. They were looking at each other from like an east-west directions. We have east over here and west down here. Now, what happened here was that for some reason, Brutus did abandon some hills on his left. So Antony and Octavian took advantage of that directly. They occupied that hill, getting a good overlook against Brutus' forces. Why Brutus did move away from those hills, I am not. I have no clue why. It was a dumb thing to do because it was a good place to hold, I believe. But he did out of ignorance, or maybe, I don't know, if he just thought that the Triumvirate troops were never going to attack from that side, because that was also when we had these big marshes. So actually it would be over on this side. It's a bit weird. If you remember, if you saw the first battle, I think it's kind of a mirror of what the swamp should be on this side, I believe, and these hills should be over here. But nevertheless, so it's more like something like these hills were abandoned by Brutus, which is kind of crazy, right? Because you have an overlook down to the Republican camps and all that by holding those hills. Anyway, he got those, or the Triumvirate got those. So what they started to do, because they had to do some kind of a change of the situation, because if they just were looking at each other, then the Triumvirate would suffer more because they didn't get the supplies. The Republicans had good ports in their back and good lands to get supplies from. So, and they have also control over the seas. So they were getting a steady flow of supplies coming in. They were, though, very dependent on that military road that we're running, which is not depicted here, but it's a road running through the battlefield and through the town of Philippi, just behind the map here. So if we look at today's battle that we're going to play, we have shifted kind of 90 degrees. So if you imagine that the Triumvirates took that hill, they were now extending their lines towards the east. so kind of parallel with Brutus's forces, who had to respond by also building eastwards his fortifications. So the problem, though, for Brutus was that sooner or later the triumvirate troops or their fortifications would reach that important road of supplies over at Philippi if they were just continuing extending the lines eastwards. So that was a problem. Another problem, maybe an even bigger problem, was that the officers of Brutus' forces and also the legionaries, they were not content with just sitting out this war and looking at the triumvirate troops down there. They wanted to fight, so they started to whine and nag about Brutus being a coward, just sitting behind walls and not doing a manly battle, right? And slowly but surely that started to eat out of Brutus' will and his iron will to hold, because he was eager to hold the situation. He knew that he had a better position than the triumvirate, but his troops didn't realize that, and not even his officers. Sorry about that. So he had to start fielding his troops for battle because his troops were demanding that. How crazy that even sounds, because you could just win by waiting out to see how Antony's and Octavian's troops were withering away. But that didn't happen, so eventually the Republican forces marched out from their camp or their ramparts, arrayed for battle in 3 lines. And I guess the triumvirates were pretty amazed to see that happen, so they did the same thing, fielded their army, and on it went, because it's said that there were even not that much skirmishing happening, not much of a missiles exchange. Rather, they did pretty hastily close the distance between the armies, and the legionaries started to fight, shield against shield instead. So, and it was a grim fight because we have kind of even troops. Both sides have veterans, but also some green troops. But it was a grim fight with a lot of losses. Actually, there is no real loss count of this battle that we know of, but it's said that it was a really grim and deadly and bloody battle. So what happened in the battle itself, it was that Brutus, as you can see, he placed himself on the right-hand side. He was thinking, let's do the same thing as in the last battle they had a few weeks back, right? When, if you remember, not in my scenario though, but in history, Brutus advanced and took Octavian's camp, routing his line. That was what Brutus had in mind again. So he put the bulk of his forces on his right-hand side, placed himself there, and also massed his cavalry there to do the flanking maneuver that we also did over in the first Battle of Philippi. So he was against Antonius, not Octavian, but he planned to take his camp again, and then instead of start plundering that happened last time, he would swing his army and attack Octavian in the flank, while hoping that his left flank would hold out against Octavian's. Because the problem with Brutus' lines were that when he massed on his right-hand side, was that his left-hand side was a bit weaker instead, as you can see also in the scenario setup here. So in the beginning, that was a good plan. He started to push back Antonius' forces really hard. Octavian saw the kind of imbalance of the Republican lines, so they started to march forward as well, pressing back Brutus' left wing. So it was kind of a tug of war here, and again we have this swing door effect, both sides pressing on their right, and it was pretty much about which line would break first, because when that happened, the other guys could run through and attack their the other guy's flank and also overrun the important camps that were in the back. So what happened was that Brutus' line started to crumble first on his left. So they retreated. Octavian, pressing on even more, started a big rout of Republican forces. They just, they were deployed in 3 lines. Actually, I think maybe there were thinner lines over here, but even so, they crashed into each other, and there was just a traffic jam, panic with Octavian's troops coming in the back, hacking and slashing, and also we have some cavalry over here, as you can see. So they were probably hunting them down with cavalry as well. So they routed, dispersed, and just run away. Brutus pressed on. He had the upper hand on this flank, but on an instant that went just away, because suddenly Octavian troops started to attack his flank. And of course the word was spreading that his left was gone. So Brutus' right started to rout as well. So they also run away from the battlefield eventually. Brutus managed to get away, fight his way out, and went up to the hills. And I think he lingered on there for a few days with a few legions. But then he took his life like his old friend Cassius. So that was the end of the Republican fight over in the east. There was other problems of the triumvirate. First of all, what would happen later on, they would start fighting each other as they used to in those days. But there was always also some other resistance going on. If you remember, we had Pompeius, the great Pompeius' son, Sextus Pompeius. He's still in Sicily, holding out there for a while. And so we had some rebellions and things happening over it. It wasn't just a smooth, transition to some kind of a new state of Rome. Also, I think after the battle, Antonius took most of the glory. Octavian didn't like that, of course, because he saw it as he has won the battle, because he crushed the Republican right, their left. So yeah, there was just gonna be a lot of fighting between these guys later on. But that's another story. I'm not sure what scenarios we will see in the future, but I'm sure we're gonna see more over here in the east, because we have the Parthians, over on the right, who were pretty much allied with the Republicans, I believe. So Antonius wanted to revenge of those guys later on. I think there are scenario 2 here about that. So we're gonna look at that next time we play Ancients. But now let's get back to Philippi and look at the War Council. So we have the Republican army led by Brutus with 5 command cards, and these guys will move first. The Triumvirate led by Antonius and Octavian, also 5 command cards. So no difference in the card displays here for the sides. That's nice. We will fight till 7 banners. It's a bit lesser than the last one. We had 8 banners in the first battle. The special rules, it's the same thing as in the last one. So you can conquer an enemy camp, and if you hold it till your next turn, you can exchange that to a victory banner. With the Julian legions in effect, we have these hills that are impossible. So I have put some double height on those hills to remember that I won't go up there with any troops. I think that's it. So a quick look at the forces and tactics before we start. So if we look at the Triumvirate army first, we have Marcus Antonius here in the camp with a heavy infantry. He has 3 medium legionary forces. He has 1 medium cavalry and 2 light infantry out on the flank. Octavian, he's also with a heavy infantry over here, and he has 4 of these medium heavies, so he's a bit stronger. 2 lights and 2 cavalry units of medium. And the Republicans then, well, if you start with their main force, the right hand or the right wing, we have Brutus there with a heavy. We have 2 medium heavies, 2 lights, and a good load of cavalry over there. So he has massed his cavalry on this flank. So we have 3 medium heavies there. But if you look at it, we have 4 heavies or medium heavies here and only 3 on that side. So even though Brutus should be pushing here, he's kind of a bit weaker though. Well, he has the cavalry support, of course. So let's see how that goes. Over here then, well, Brutus have 1, 2, 3 medium heavies, so pretty much as strong as this one. But that guy out back there, he could quickly shift to which front he's needed in. So kind of a reserve there in the center. And then we have 2 lights, actually 3 lights. There's 1 back there as well, if you can see it. And then there's an 1 medium heavy cavalry unit as well there. So that's it. So a bit even, but still a bit stronger here on the triumvirate side. The only thing that is a bit better there is the cavalry, more cavalry and massed cavalry. Also, I think slightly more light infantry on the Republican side. So that's pretty much it. So for the tactics, as I used to, I will try to mimic some of the historical strategies or tactics here. So I'm going to try to press on with Brutus here, and I'm going to press on with Octavian on the triumvirate side. See if both right-hand sides can push the other one back. And the one who managed to do a breakthrough, I will try to take the camps. So both sides have 2 camps, 1 here, 1 here, and then we have 2 in a cluster over on behind Brutus there. So if Marcus Antonius could do a counterattack, he could grab 2 victory banners pretty easily there. Or if Octavian can manage to go behind those high hills and take it from the rear, then he could also reach them, of course. That's it. So I'm gonna do a few arrangements here, and then I'll be back and we'll start the game. All right. So since we have the Republicans going first, we're gonna check those 2 cards we have in slot A and B. So we have an inspired center leadership. There's no leader in the center though. So this could be 1 unit our choice if you want to. And then we have an outflanked. That could be something we could at least start with some skirmishing, because I was thinking about these guys. I mean, as I said, I wanted to go forward with Brutus. There's always, this, if you take the first step towards the enemy, they will get the first, when there's their turn, they can get the first hit on you, because you cannot reach them, but you can go forward and then they can hit you. So that's a bit risky, of course. So I'm thinking of using these rampart hexes here, so I can move forward and take advantage of those with some legionaries. This outflank could help me with that. I also gonna check, because since we have cavalry who could reach the enemy line already, so maybe we have some first, what is it called? I don't remember the card name. You know where you can hit first. First strike, I think it was. There's none of those there, so we're just gonna roll and see what the Republicans can play then. Oops, that was the wrong way around. Here we go. So we have a C or lowest order count. So that will be 3 in the center or the lowest order count would actually right now be, because this is not counted as a tactic card, so this would right now be worth 1 unit. It's a bit of a pity to use that. It's a good card. If we could get Brutus into the center, we could use that later on. So that's why I think I want to play the 3 in the center instead. So let's see. 3 units in the center. So I think I might do like this. 1, 2, and I think if I should already assign those legionaries over here, so I can press on really hard here. But we don't know yet if Octavian is going forward aggressively. We imagine he will, especially if I draw that legionary out of there, he will start moving forward. The other thing would be that we just, you know, move forward some light infantry and throw some javelins. Maybe we should do that. Okay, so let's take... Oh, it needs to be in the center, so it needs to be this guy in that case. But let's do that. So I'm going to move this guy here. I'm going to throw some Pila. And these guys are going to move into the... I still have a nice line if I get the line command. Pila throws, and these guys will move forward 1 hex and also throw some javelins. Let's start with Pila throw from the edge of this line towards that unsupported legionary there. No hit, that was a leader symbol. And then the second Pila from the ramparts, same target. Nothing. Too bad. It would have been great actually to get the flag on these guys, pressing them backwards, so we don't get hit so hard back, because that's what I'm a bit afraid of now, that they will march up and just hit us really hard. But let's see. They need of course the cards for it. And the problem for the triumvirate is that these guys are in different sections, so it might be difficult to order them both at least. We still have 1 attack to do, and I'm gonna attack those guys. 1 die. And now comes the flag that I wanted over here, but these guys are supported, so they just ignore that flag. Okay, well, at least we are starting to move forward with a line. So replace the card over there and go over to the triumvirate. So what would he say? Move, fire, move, and outflanked. Both sides have an outflanked in slot B. Okay, we have a tactics card or lowest order count, so I need to pretty much choose one of these. And since we have a good bunch of skirmishes, I could use this card right away. So we have that out from our hand. We don't want that to be lingering on later in our hand. So I'm going to take that, so we can order up to 5 light infantry. So we have 4 of them. We could move and then fire and then move again. This is good. So I'm gonna... By the way, I wrote these guys... this terrain is not blocking a line of sight, which is a bit strange, but I read about it, so they don't. Just for your information. I wonder who we should hit. Should we try to hit the cavalry unit there? These guys will just stay because they're gonna fire with 2 dice. Here I'm gonna try to get some hits on the legionaries. And these guys, let's take the horse. See if we can get them. Okay, so let's start from here. First die against the horse. That's a flag. The horse is supported. Next one. Green, no hits. Okay, you just leave them because we're gonna move again. Here we're gonna attack with 2 dice against light infantry. And we got the hit and a flag, which it needs to take. So we have the first blood now, and they need to retreat 2 hexes back. Here, attack the legionaries with 1 die, hoping for a blue. Nope, sword symbol. So now I can move again. So these guys will move here. And these guys, I move back to the line. And so I will do with these guys as well. They just rushed forward, throw some javelins, and then rushed back to the line. That's it. A bit quiet start, but we got the first hit. Back to the Republicans then. We have a CDG, so we have 3 cards we don't know of. 2 in the center. We have... I do want something over on the right. Inspired left leadership. Oh man. Bad. Okay, here's 2 on the right. I think I need to do that. This card I probably will never play, or not for the inspired left leadership at least. It could be for 1 unit of my choice, of course. But I'm gonna take 2 over here now. So I will start the battle now. So I'm gonna order these 2. So march down here. I'm gonna march up Brutus behind to give support, leader support to that guy, and they can also throw some javelins or pila, which I will start with. So these guys, 1 die down here. Flag. They won't take it because they are supported, so ignore that. And now comes the attack. And I'm gonna hit those guys with 4 dice. And leader support. So thanks to the leader support, we at least got 1 hit, but that was kind of a bad roll. Also got a flag, but since they're supported, they're gonna ignore that. So that was a bad roll. And they will battle back with 4. No leader support though. And they also managed to get in 1 hit with the blue there. So we are starting to see shield against shield exchanging blows. And that's actually it. Back to the triumvirate. So they have a D or E, also 2 cards we don't know of. Sticking out my nose over there right now. So let's just wait to see if these guys comes upon us. Actually, that's it. Back to Republicans. CDG. 2 center, left leadership, or a double time. Oh, double time. Can we use that in a good way somewhere? I'm not sure. So the 2 in the center. Too bad these guys are still not in the center. The double time could get him to the center. To be honest, maybe we should do it. Because the other one, 2 in the center, I'm not sure I'm too interested in that, because these guys, well, they could just link up. We could, of course, start moving that guy over to this side since we lost a unit. That could also be an interesting choice, of course. Should we do that perhaps? And then we could use the double time and getting 3 units. Yeah, okay. I will take the 2 in the center anyway. I'll save the double time still a bit. So I'm going to take these guys and these guys. So here comes the next wave attacking. These guys can move too, so they're going to rush up towards this battle now. And a new attack coming in from there with 4 dice and leader support. But we are not rolling too good with the Republicans now. Only one hit again. And they will battle back with leader support. Getting also one hit. Kind of as the last time the Republicans attacked. So. Okay. Not sure what I think about this, but we sure need that legionary unit coming up here. And I think the Octavian would want to go forward as well. Let's check what the Triumvirate can do. So they have a D or E, 2 on the right, or heavy troops. Well, our heavies cannot do anything good. So I think I need to do 2 on the right. Too bad I need to leave this sector, but on the other hand, maybe good to start doing something over here. So 2 on the right it needs to be. So I'm gonna start moving up. Oh, I think the camera died for some reason. There's still battery time here, so I don't know what happened, but I hope you saw what I did. So I played the 2 on the right for these guys. So what I'm gonna do is pretty much to start closing into this isolated guy here. So let's start with moving up these 2 guys. I'm gonna throw some Pila. First one from here. No hit. Second one. Flag. So we're pressing these guys back a bit. Okay, but they have kind of broken their line, but still advancing now. Let me see. Yeah, okay. So I'll play one more turn. So Republicans. A, B, or C. Inspired center leadership. We still haven't that guy in the center. The outflanked. That's a good one. Or light troops. Light troops would be 5 light troops. Or we do the outflanked. I think I'll do the outflanked now. Because I want these guys to get a good punch on those guys. So here we can take 2 guys. So I'm gonna take that guy, and then I'm gonna throw some javelins with these guys. So these will march forward. They're gonna throw some Pila. And these guys now, I want to make sure I eliminate those guys, but I have a plan. So I'm gonna go here and here. Bringing myself to the center. That's what I want to do and still attack. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let's start on this flank first. So I'm gonna throw a 2 dice javelin attack towards these legionaries. That's a flag. Well, they need to take it actually. So they go back. And then one throw with a Pila here. 1 die throw. And that's a miss. Okay, so now comes the interesting part. So I'm gonna start with these guys attacking that full strength unit there. What I'm hoping is to weaken these guys so I can finish them off both with Brutus. So let's hope for some good hits now here. Yeah, 2 and a flag. 2 hits and a flag. They could take it. And since I now sense that I might be killed, I might as well do it. Or should I stay and battle back? The thing is, though, these guys will now kill both these units if I stay. But if I would take the retreat, These guys will attack here, probably kill them, and then attack here. Giving me a chance to hit back with 3 guys. Actually, both are tempting, so I'm gonna roll for it with a die. So if I roll 1, 2, 3, I'm gonna stay and battle. 4 to 6, I will take the retreat. That's a 4, so I'm gonna retreat and save myself for another fight the next turn. So these guys could gain ground. I'm not interested in that. But then comes Brutus. He's gonna attack here as we knew, with 5 dice and 2 hits needed. There's 3 hits coming in. So we kill that unit. Republicans get their first banner. And I will go in and battle again. And I will attack these guys who haven't that leader support, and they're also unsupported. So if you can get the flag, we don't risk any battle back. There is a flag, and there's 3 hits. An excellent throw. 3 hits on those guys, and they need to retreat. So they're gonna go here. So we could gain ground again, but I will opt to stay here. Very interesting. These guys are now really weakened, as in history, pressed back towards their camp. But if they manage to pull a good card now, we can get some really heavy hit back, because since we retreated with those guys, we have 3 potential legionaries who can fight back. Let's see what they can do. C, D, or E. We have the heavies, we know of that. In C we have mediums, and here we have 2 on the left. Okay, so all 3 could be good. If you take the mediums, we could also start moving up here and attack, and also on the other flanks. You can do up to 5 of them. I think I might opt to do that, honestly, in this situation. Yeah, I'm gonna play the mediums. I need to try to get Octavian forward as well. So mediums I will do. So I have also cavalry I could choose from. So let's see. I will attack with these guys, that's for sure. While they have leader support as well. I will attack here. These guys could potentially finish up what these guys start. So if I could, too bad I can't get to that hex. That would have been excellent. But it is what it is. So I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna choose those guys. And then, or as an option, I would put some more pressure over here. What I'm afraid of, I hope to, these guys I could weaken. Oh, these options. Maybe I should concentrate on hitting these guys if I only order 2 units here. I might lose them both, but I will weaken these guys a lot. And I like that. So I'm not going to take the cavalry over here. I will instead start pressing here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these guys will battle. These guys will move 2. They cannot battle, and these guys will move 2 just to give support. And these guys will move up, these guys stay. Okay, let's again start on this flank. Now it's getting really important with good rolls. I mean, this turn or this battle phase will decide a lot. So let's start from here. The good thing is those guys are not supported, so if you get the flag, we don't risk a battle back. There's the flag, but there's no hits. We're just pressing them back. 3 greens. So we're pressing them back. Let's put them there. I don't want to hinder these guys from evading. Do I want to gain ground? I don't think so. That was actually really bad. These guys can now come back and hit. But let's see now then. That was that. So now over to this flank. We start from here. 4 dice. Leader support. I'm hoping to get... Best thing would of course be to eliminate these guys right away. Maybe I should start here even, because if I am lucky and rolling 4 hits, I could attack again with another unit against another unit. So I'm going to start with that lone block. 4 dice. And there is 2 hits and a flag. The hits we're going to take first of all. The flag, they don't need if Brutus survives. He did. So I could take the flag, of course, to save myself again. But these guys are in the same situation as these guys were last turn. Should they retreat or not? Or should it kill these guys? But then these guys will hit. And I'm pretty much done. I mean, I could go here. No, I couldn't, because then I get killed anyway. I wanted to be in the center, you know, so I can use that center leadership card, but... man. So if I retreat, I need to retreat there, in that direction. But then I don't have that much good cards to counterattack with, so I need to be really lucky if I can't decide. I need to roll for it. So I'm going to be fair, like I did for the triumvirate. I'm going to roll for these guys. 1, 2, 3, stay. 4 to 6, retreat. That is a 6. So Brutus takes the opportunity to retreat while he can. We don't gonna advance. These guys will attack here instead. Maybe we get a chance to hit back. Maybe there's a good card in that slot that we can play. So here we got 2 hits, no retreats. So they took a lot of hits, but they survived and they didn't retreat. So they're gonna hit back with 4 dice. Needing 2 hits to eliminate that triumvirate unit. Well, we got 1 and a flag. So 1 hit here, and then they retreat. Oh, weakened troops on both sides. Yeah. I mean, the cavalry now, if they could reach these lines, that would be great for them to do some mopping up action here. But they are too far away, unfortunately. So that was that, and I think that was enough for this first session. A lot of action happening right from the start, I'd say. So I'm happy also to see that Octavian is moving forward. I mean, it happens quite easily in this game that one flank is, you know, that a lot of happening there until both sides exhaust themselves. Then you start looking, oh yeah, well, let's do this flank as well. Now, and sometimes, like in the last battle, if you remember, there were nothing happening on this flank with Brutus and Octavian last time. They were just watching each other while all the happening was between Antonius and Cassius in the first battle of Philippi, I mean. But now we are not seeing that. We are seeing Octavian also getting the time to aggressively go forward while keeping the defenses active here. And that was, of course, a lot of thanks to the Order Medium Troops card, which was really good here. So now the Republicans need to tend to both sides, and that's good. So let's see what happens. And for the Republican side, I would really, as I said, like to start using these cavalry now. But yeah, it's difficult to get them forward. I can't see any good cards for it. So I don't know when we can do that. At least we can fight around these camps in case the triumvirate are advancing towards those. We have some good fast troops that could do some anvil and hammer and anvil attacks, I guess, at some point. Let's see. But otherwise, I think it's an open game still. We don't know who's gonna go victorious out of it, because also if you look, we have, let's say that the Republicans get an activation over here. We have 2 legionaries who can reach the same legionary unit over here. So we could eliminate one of those guys with a bit of luck, and also some cavalry over here. So a lot can happen still, and we have an even banner count 1-1. So both sides still to gather 6 more for a victory. Let's see who managed to do that. And let's see if that happens already in the next session. Sometimes, you know, when things start rolling, it goes fast. But sometimes, depending on the cards, it could take maybe yet another session before it's decided. Anyway, thanks guys for watching, and I hope you will be back for the continuation of this battle, the Philippi, Second Battle of Philippi, 42 BC. Bye for now.